Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to Wellness. We got some content that I want to get through today. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. But yeah, I was able to get outside for the first time in a really long time and got a little bit of sunburn, which was awesome. But at the same time, now I'm dealing with that. So that's why I look a little pink. We're going to dive into occupational wellness. This is something that is hitting hard a little bit for some people with not being able to work or getting laid off. Maybe even some of you guys, unfortunately, aren't able to go back to your jobs that you have, even your part-time jobs. So it's kind of hits home a little bit, but talking about occupational wellness in the sense of purpose. I'm going to fly through some of these slides because there's a lot of information on them. Feel free to pause this video. Take as much notes as you want. How to become occupationally well. So there's these are called 5 steps, and they're listed in an order, but really we can do all of these at any time. For the first one, we have personal awareness, establishing priorities, explore and evaluate initial career priorities, develop an action step towards your priority goals, and then finally appraise your progress and where you're at when it comes to an occupation. So the first step that we have is personal awareness. We want to be aware of what's happening with what we're doing. So we want to assess and understand in yourself what traits and characteristics will give you the most career satisfaction. We want to know our skills and what we're good at, and how these match our career options. If I'm really good at public speaking or really good at interacting with people, I want to go into a field with it. If I'm good with numbers and good with technology, I want to go into a field with that. We want to know our skills. Know your interest. Even though you might be good at public speaking or good at technology, maybe you're not interested in that. So we don't want to pursue something that we might be good at, but we have no interest in. So we want to do potential careers in that interest you. Are they in your interest? Know your needs. What careers will give you satisfaction and fulfillment? What does a job need to have to give you this? This is a loaded question because we won't really know. And when I got into coaching and teaching, I didn't really know that I would find satisfaction in this until it happened. So it was kind of unique and weird how that worked out for me. Then know your values. What will your values match, or how will your values match your career? I love making a difference in like you guys and my athletes' lives. So I hope I make a difference, and that's kind of everyone's like cliche thing. I want to make a difference, but it has to do with what I'm doing and how I'm making that difference, and it does fit along with my values. Step 2. We want to establish our initial priorities. Establish what is most important to us in a career. This information includes kind of like a 5-year plan. What work will you have, or what will you want to be doing in 5 years? From right now, from this date, some of us are seniors, some of us are freshmen, but right now, 5 years from now, what do you want to be doing? Establish your initial priorities and make sure that's something that that you are focused on. Job responsibilities. What do you want to be doing at work? What do you want to be doing? Geographic region. Is there a particular place you want to be living? Maybe it's closer to your family. Maybe it's farther away from your family. Maybe it's on the East Coast, West Coast, in the South where there's not snow. Where do you want to live? That is a huge component when picking a career. Set career priorities based off of the things that are most closely adhere to your personal priorities. I really wanted to coach, and I really wanted to be involved in it. And picking a priority of mine was I wanted to do track, and I wanted to be closer to my family. Now my family lives in Iowa, which is about 5 hours away from where we are right here, but it's still, I can do that in a day, and I can spend the weekend with them if my schedule permits. Avoiding tunnel vision when setting a career priorities. This is important because we get so focused on what I'm doing, like this is my career, this is like I picked this major, I have to do this. But a career development barrier that causes people to eliminate career options because they have no previous experience or feel unqualified. I specifically remember when I was initially applying for jobs, not necessarily coaching or teaching jobs, but just jobs in general right out of college, because it's super easy to find them right when you graduate. But I remember specifically looking at jobs and going, I don't have that, or I'm not proficient in Photoshop, or I don't have the experience necessarily with that software or whatever they were asking. And I remember like just ignoring the job. Now you need qualifications. You need to be able to do the job that you are being hired to do. But you don't want to feel that this job I can't do it, or I can't learn. We want to encourage you. I want to encourage you guys to apply to those jobs but be transparent. I don't know Photoshop. I don't know this accounting software. Just to be able to apply for that job or have that opportunity because you are interested. Don't get that tunnel vision. How to eliminate tunnel vision. First, focus on the skills you have to bring to the area of expertise. So I specifically remember applying for a job, a coaching position, and it asked for a throws and jumps coach. Well, they wanted both of them, and for those of you that know, track and field, those are very different. But I didn't know a lot about jumps. So I've long jumped in the past, and I've watched the high jump and pole vault, but I was very candid with them that was something that I wasn't super skilled in, but I would love to learn it, and it was a priority for me. I wanted to learn how to coach the jumps, and I actually ended up getting that position. Granted, I didn't stay there very long because it was an internship position, but I was able to be transparent with them and be able to tell them like, hey, I don't know a lot about jumps, but I'm skilled in the throws, and maybe I can help in that area. Second, turn the awareness of possible shortcomings into a goal for the future. So I told them like, this is something I want to work on. I want to develop this, and they bought my vision, and I was able to learn, and now I have a background in coaching the jumps because that was something that I told them I wanted to do. Third step, explore and evaluate initial career priorities. After determining several potential career options, explore each one and see what each one has to offer. Those are the few things that we want to look at. We want to look at responsibilities, prerequisites for the job, local market, national market, changes in the near future, so 5 to 10 years. Is that job going to be obsolete in 5 to 10 years? And so we want to look and see if that's a component. Will that job exist in 5 to 10 years? If you look 10 years ago, look at jobs that were, and there's new jobs. So what other career areas involve similar responsibilities and the benefits of the career? Financial, personal, self-satisfaction. Obviously, we want to make money, so we want to make sure that we choose a career path that will be able to fulfill our needs. Now, I didn't really get into coaching for the buku dollars I make. That's a joke. But it fulfills so much more than that. You want to look for both the positives and negatives in a career. I knew, because I was an athlete, that one of the big negatives in coaching is that you're not home very often, especially during the season. Right now, we are obviously not competing, but I am noticing that I have my weekends. If we were coaching just this past weekend, we would this coming weekend we would be in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is just over 3 hours away. That would be Friday and into Saturday morning. I would literally be gone for almost 2 days. And so that's something that I want to make sure that you guys focus on, that like, yes, you will be gone for that, or you will have to travel, or you'll require late nights. So you want to look at both the positive and negatives when it comes to career paths. When you only look at the positive, the negatives still exist. So they still are there, and you may not become aware of them until it's too late, when you're already working the job. So if that's, I just want to coach, I want to coach, I want to coach. Well, with coaching, there's those late nights, and then there's all this college coaching, there's this recruiting that you have to do, and it's not the funnest thing in the world to do, but you have to be aware of it before it's too late. But if you only look at the negatives, then you're missing out on all the positives. Yes, I have to do recruiting. Yes, I have to order food and order uniforms and have to be gone on the weekends. But what are the positives to those? When I'm gone on the weekends, I get to coach the sport I love. I love interacting with students and athletes, and making them achieve goals that they never thought were possible. Like that's what I dream of, and that's one of the big positives. So if I only look at the negatives, I'm going to miss out on that. Step 4, develop an action step towards your priority goals. Once you have determined your occupation, so career or a field that you would like to pursue, we want to do a few things. You want to research what you need. You want to enroll in the training and pursue a degree relevant to the field. You just don't want to get through college and be like, all right, well, now I want to do this and not have the degree. So for me, I wanted to coach. That was a big thing. I didn't know that till later in my college career, but I wanted to coach. And so I need to apply for grad schools to be able to do that. Or I need to get a practicum in coaching, or even my college offered a minor in coaching. So I want to make sure that I'm able to do that. Pursue degree relevance. So if I want to get into accounting, I can't have an exercise science degree. It doesn't work like that. Obviously, it is okay to change your major, but we want to find ways to obtain work experience, and that includes making that major change or making that career change early or as soon as possible, because you want to be able to get those internships. You want to be able to get that shadowing. You know, the cliche thing that people want to get experience, you need to have experience. That's not always true. Finding internships, finding shadowing people or volunteering is all like possibilities, and you're gonna have to work for free. You're gonna have to work for free. That's unfortunately how it is. So you have short-term versus long-term actions. Long-term actions steps are often easier than short-term action. We'll talk about in a second, but less risk than short-term actions when it comes to long-term. The reason is long-terms are the framework of how we're going to get to that, get into that field you desire to be in. Short-terms are the actual steps on getting there, and there's risks when it comes involved with short-term. Some of the risks are committing to study, to learn, to gain experience, the cost of something. Financially, your degree, you have to pay for it somehow. Hopefully you have a lot of scholarships that offset that. But you are doing you are spending time in this short-term goal, which what the short-term action step is getting your degree. This would be a short term. This feels like a long term, but it's a short term. Risks also involve asking current prospective employers for responsibilities to help obtain career goals. So maybe asking for new responsibilities, or even asking to shadow someone. So those are risks involved. So there's not always bad risk, but they are risks that we want to talk about. Finally, step 5 in appraising your progress. Where are we at? Determine if the career you have chosen matches your personality trait. So this would be after we've kind of picked that career and we've gone away and we're possibly working for them. If the career is matching your traits, you want to stay on your path that you have desired and you want to work towards that goal. If a career is not matching your traits, we want to go back to step 2, establishing our priorities. What are those priorities that we want? Don't view this as a failure. Do not view this as a failure. I got into coaching and I realized that I love teaching. I want to teach, and so I got involved in teaching college. That was a way I was able to include that priority in my life, coaching and teaching. It's okay to switch your careers and majors. It's okay to do that. Now, you don't want to do it a lot, especially that major one. You don't want to do that 5, 6, 7 times I switch, because then you're going to have to be here for those extra amount of years. So we want to focus on finding that career path quickly, but also making sure that it fits our priorities. This is not switching your career paths does not mean that you're not does not mean that there should not be negative or challenging associated with your job. All jobs have negative aspects to them. The hours, your coworkers, your bosses, your pay, even. Like, it all has negative things associated with them, but this does not mean that it's not the correct thing for you. They all have their challenging aspects. So here I want you guys to pay attention. I have a quick Easter egg, and only the people that are watching this video are going to get it. So, if you want 10 free points, you need to email me by Wednesday the 8th. So that's this Wednesday at 4 o'clock. This is the only place that I'm going to put it on this video right here. I'm not going to post it in the notes. I'm not going to post it in the descriptions or anything that's not even going to be an assignment. If you want 10 points, I want you to email me by Wednesday, April 8th at 4 p.m. I want you to email me one thing that you're doing physically to kind of offset not being able to like go to the gym or play your sport. So write and you put it in a paragraph. What are you doing? List some stuff how you're being able to combat this COVID-19 self-isolation thing. So that's the Easter egg. Email me by Wednesday at 4 p.m. a paragraph of how you're doing physically and what you're doing to work out. Okay? Remember that. Career networking. Moving on. So career networking can be viewed as an informal interview. Just interacting with people that have a job that you want. Networking shares career goals with individuals, exchanging information and service, and being open to new ideas, relationships, and opportunities in a career field. So when I was a GA for coaching at Northern Iowa, my coach said to me, I said, I want you to go to other coaches when we're at track meets and just talk to them. See what they're like, see what they, how they coach. Obviously ask them to kind of shadow them. But that's your networking. In doing that, I was able to make relationships with these coaches, these throws coaches, to be able to potentially get jobs. And actually, in a long story, it worked out that I was able to get the job I have now because of that networking that I did when I was a grad student. So I encourage you guys to network with people. As you meet people within your career, field, interviews, or on-the-job relationships, share ideas with each other. They will learn about you, that you will learn about them and their goals, but you want to broaden your knowledge, and it opens doors to career moves in the future, just like I was mentioning before. You want to start networking now. Find as many networking opportunities as possible, even if you go to those in the future when we're back at school, when you go to those job fairs, just going to them and giving them a business card that you have or your number or your email address to be able to network with them now, even though it might not be lead to a career right away. It's knowing them knowing your name. So in the future, when that career path does happen, they know who you are. Career stress, emotional wellness, and work. So there's a few things that job stress can be caused by. So obviously change, personal appraisal, organizational characteristics, so how you're organized, and if you're type A, type B, competitiveness. These are all ways that add stress to our job. Just daily hassle, dual career families having two different styles of career, that always adds stuff. To cope with the stress, you will have to change the stressful situation. Not always possible, but we want to be able to work in an environment that doesn't cause us the bad type of stress. Accept the stressful situations, focus on your own positive characteristics, and leave or distance yourselves from the situation if it's possible. Now, if I'm a type B person where I'm just kind of going along with the flow, but I need to be organized, maybe that's something and it's causing me stress, not being organized, maybe that's something I encourage myself to do. Burnout. This is one of the last slides, I promise. So career stress or failures to control career stress can lead to burnout. So burnout is defined by exhaustion or physical, emotional strength or emotion or motivation, usually a result of prolonged stress. So you can burn out from a career if it's not fulfilling some of the stuff that you need. So lack of recognition, lack of control, lack of job clarity. Now you don't even know what you're doing. You're just there kind of for a paycheck. Although that sounds great, it doesn't last very long. Personal causes, maybe perfectionism or assuming personal responsibilities for failures that maybe aren't even yours. Burnout can cause you to not like your job and can even drive you out of the field that you love. So we want to be aware of the things that are causing this burnout. So coping with stress. How do we cope with that burnout? How do we cope with that negative thing? There's a list here, but I want to point out 3. You want to utilize your staff better. Maybe you have people under you. Maybe you have people over you. Utilize them better. Maybe it's just you connecting with them more regularly on a topic that hey, this is what I'm doing. Can I get input? Seek a transfer. Maybe you just need to get out of where you're employed at. You love your job, but you just need to get out. Or maybe you need to upgrade your skills for a promotion. Maybe it's taking that extra exam or going into an apprenticeship to be able to upgrade to possibly make more money financially to be able to offset some of the stress that's happening. Career management strategy. So there's a couple things here. Always be prepared for a career change, voluntary or involuntary. So planning a career change requires skills necessary to make yourself more marketable. So when we talk about a voluntary change, this is skills will enable us to move up in position or rank. So I'm choosing to move. Maybe it's move to a different company, or I'm moving up because I took that exam or I took that apprenticeship to be able to make more movements. And unfortunately, there is this involuntary career change. You get fired, laid off, let go. But you want to make yourself marketable if and when that happens. Skills will make you more marketable for other employees. So there's this 2-month salary concept, and I know it's tough now, especially with student loans and what's happening with our economy and the virus, but we want to try to save up 2 months' salary. And what that will allow you to do is give you time to find a new job without panicking how I'm going to pay rent, how I'm going to pay my bills, how I'm going to pay my loans back, how am I going to eat even. So you want to save up that 2 months' salary to be able to kind of stay on your feet before you find that new job. Finally, I know this is the last slide. Career satisfaction. Some research states that 40 to 80% of individuals aren't happy with their job. So the author Lee Ellis and Larry Burkett remind us that our work is only what we do, not our work is only what we do. We are not our work. And what that kind of going into that spiritual wellness idea of our primary reason for working is to help fulfill God's work. This is our maximum pleasure for work. Things to know. This is the last slide. This is the information for going into next week. There will be no occupational assessment on Canvas. I know it was live. I turned it on. We are not going to do it. Just some things with the test that I wanted you guys to take. It's not available for you guys to be able to do the full thing. So we are not doing the occupational assessment. It is not graded. It is completely void. We are not doing it. So don't worry too much about that. Your PA logs for this week will be due on Friday, April 10th at 10 p.m. So make sure you get those turned in and submitted. Reminder that you need to put stuff in the notes. To get full credit, you need to put stuff in the notes. And then finally, next lecture is on intellectual wellness. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good one. Logging off.